what strategy is and what is the strategic planning and analysis all about. So we've got the mission in terms of what we want to accomplish, how we visualize our organization to be is the vision. And then the kind of strategies is basically the kind of a game plan or the approach that you would need to have so that you can realize your vision. So obviously that's what they say, that vision is basically like a ambition. It's big, hairy, audacious goals. As I say, it needs to be woolly. It needs to be as ambitious as possible. It need not be really something that is possible today. Perhaps it would take you a good few years to get there. So what is it? What is strategy? The path an organization take from why they exist. Basically, that is the mission. That is called a mission statement, to what they want to become in the next few years. What they would like to see themselves in the next few years is basically the vision. So that's the definition of what is a strategy. What is a strategic planning all about? What does that entail? And how would you take this is basically driven by a lot of factors that would mean that you need to clearly understand where you want to go, what are the goals that you would have, which are basically something like the objectives, the strategic objectives. And they could be tactical and they could be operational as well as you go down in terms of implementation. So basically you need to have something that is a huge motivational aspect that pushes you, that drives you to towards that point, kind of a goal. That's what is basically a strategic goal. And strategy is to have this kind of a path. You might have multiple options, multiple approaches, and multiple methods to reach that. There can be many roads to go to one goal, but it's all about how you choose which goal is driven by the different factors that you would have. And then obviously you need to understand, are you going the right direction? Are you going with the right speed? Are you actually using the resources correctly? Are you using the fuel in the right way? Are there any leaks in your vehicle? All these things need to be assessed, monitored, measured, and then the decisions taken about these as you go towards in the journey from the current state to the to be state. And that's why we need to have all those what we call as the CSFs, critical success factors, the KPIs. This is the critical success factor, customer satisfaction. Then 71% increase is basically what we call as a key performance indicator. So that is what we're trying to say. And the target is basically 71% from perhaps 60% that we have today, right? So that's what we want to be. We want to get there. And by how much of improvement, what percentage or what quantum of improvement you would like to achieve is what you set out as a goal, as a performance target. And how you get there is basically the strategy. That's basically you can have a better service. You can actually try and have as many presence in the point of view of geographies as possible. You can try and increase your offerings. You can try and make yourself more visible, increase your marketing budget. All these things come into picture. How you do that? So they're all the tactical aspects of it. So strategies are the action plans that when implemented will achieve the objectives. Those are those strategies. Those are the approaches. Those are the mechanisms through which you can achieve your vision, your goal. So when we talk about this in that context, what do you need to do really is to focus on analyzing the current state. You need to understand where you are so that you can go. Even if you want to really kind of understand how this all works, if you see, for example, how the satellite navigation works, or any kind of navigation that we have, first and foremost, you need to understand where you are, right? So then you can actually, and then where you want to go. That is the destination. So you've got to understand where you are, the current location, then you've got the destination. You select these two, then it would give you options as to how you can get to the destination. Pretty much the same way. We need to have a clear understanding of what the current state is. What is the as-is situation? What are the problems? What is the opportunity? What is the set of opportunities that we have? What are the needs? What are the challenges? What are the pain areas? And then given these, where do you want to be? What is the kind of situation that you want to get into? What is the to-be situation? What is the solution going to be? How you would like to get there is basically the overall strategic approach. So the needs are prioritized, define the future state. We need to again go back to the prioritization of requirements activity in the knowledge area, previous knowledge area, where we were discussing how you would structure your requirements and then prioritize them, then trace them, and then assess the changes and how you would get to the point you want to be. It provides a context for requirement analysis and design definition for a given change. This is what we were talking about yesterday, right? In the context of requirement analysis and design, that you need a context, that you actually need to have that sense of where you are so that you can actually go from here to where you want to be. And that's where the solution scope will be defined, that these are the boundaries. This is what is in the scope, and there's what is out of scope. And then you also, to get to that point, you need to work with the team, with the customers, with the users, with the employees, with regulators, with domain SMEs, with implementation SMEs, all those different stakeholders, so that you can come up with some kind of a strategy, the change strategy to get there. And how do you capture this strategy? There are multiple ways. You have got what we call a strategic plan or a business plan. Again, that's a document that you might have come across. Very simply, it talks about what you are now, what are the problem statements, and then from here, what do you want to be, where do you want to go, and how would you get there, what is the time limit, what are the resources, do you have any constraints, what are the options, right? And then the product vision actually sets the context of, within the purview of your product, what would you like your product to do, what is the positioning of the product, what markets does it address, what is the target audience for the product, what are the capabilities of this product, what are the features, how would it help benefit, or how would it help address the needs of the customers and the users, of the stakeholders, in what ways would it help solve their problems. So that's all product vision. Business case is about the identification of the costs and the benefits to be able to come up with a solution. So now we have got the business plan, you've got a product vision, then you need to come up with, if you want to get to that point, what are the kind of options you have? And then you weigh in each option in terms of what is the cost versus the benefit that each option entails on. Look at the tangible and the intangibles of the cost and the benefit. Look at the aspects of, for example, the returns on the investment. Look at the payback and cash flows and all that stuff. And then you come up with one option or one way that you would recommend based on the existing set of options that would help you to get to that point, which is what is a business case again. So this business case is actually telling you, out of the 5 options or 5 different roads that I have to reach my target, my destination, I would choose road B, and perhaps I would choose to go by a car of this nature, of this type of a car, and I would use petrol or diesel or electric or whatever it is, because I'm conscious of environment. I would go electric. I use electric vehicle, and I would have not more than 4 people. Then again, because it is going to be ecologically, more imbalanced, if I could put more people, that would add to the consumption of fuel. So you're thinking, broader. You're thinking not just about going from here to here. You're thinking about how you can go there, how effectively you can go there, how better, what could be the impact on the environment, what could be the impact on the people around, what could be the safer way to get there, the safety aspect of it, the security, the aspect of political aspects of, for example, if there's anything that is involved in that, the environmental aspects, the economical aspect of it, right? How much fuel could I save if I go with this vis-a-vis something else? So all these aspects you would consider and come up with what we call as a product roadmap. So once you choose that option, that I would like to go with this option, this approach, this is the strategy that works better for us to get us to the vision where we want to go, then you come up with a roadmap in terms of how you'd get there. What are the releases for that? How often would you like to release the product into the market? Who are your target segments? How would you get the feedback into the product again? How would you again improve the features? What kind of communication you would need to engage so that the message gets across to them? What's the kind of adoption strategy? How would you engage the customers and users and get them to get to use your product? How would you beat your competition? What is the market like? What are the market forces that you have? And how is your marketing strategy going to address the challenges? So all of these are, again, thought through in terms of the roadmap for the product. And then the experience aspect of it. How are you going to deliver the user experience, the customer experience? And that's pretty much what you would like to do with the strategic analysis. Very important to in fact, start anything. This is what we do pretty much day in and day out, without thinking much about it. But even if you want to go from one place to another place, if you want to go from here to your workplace, or if you want to plan a holiday, you would still do this kind of thing. Where you want to get, how are you planning to get there, right? What are the resources available, what are the options, what is the best option in terms of money, the time, the cost, and the people involved, and the resources and things like that, and how do you get there, right? And then once you have that focus, that then all you need is to just keep that into your mind, and then put all your energies into that and get to that stage. So pretty much what is very, very relevant to what we do day in and day out as well. But strategy, as I say, is pretty much high level. So it's like, for example, how you would like to plan your career. If you want to move from one role to another role, it's all about strategic analysis, right? So what are the things involved? Where do you want to see yourself in the next 1 year, 2 years, if not 10 years? Because nobody, that kind of window has now constricted now. It's now restricted more and more, the visibility. So let's talk about how you would see yourself in the next 2 years, where you would like to work on. Is it in corporate sector? Is it in the government sector? Is it in the non-gov, the non-profit organization and non-profit sector, and then not-for-profit sector is what we call here. So, and then you would then need to decide what kind of role you would like to work with. Is it more people centric? Is it more managerial? Is it more professional? And then once you get there, what kind of things, is it permanent? Is it going to be a contracting role? Is it going to be involving a lot of technology? So you're giving so much thought about your career and how you get there, right? So, and then how you get there is basically the strategic aspect of the tactical bits come in there. Do you need any certifications? Do you need any kind of advice, coaching? You need to position your CV accordingly, and then put yourself up in the market, go through a few interviews. So you're getting through this grind. So these are all the kind of tactical and operational aspects of how you would realize your goal of having that career switch. So this is basically a kind of a diagram that you would have seen before as well, to bring you the interrelationships across the different knowledge areas within the BA box. So we have completed business analysis, planning and monitoring. We've done elicitation, collaboration. We have done requirements lifecycle management. So now that's where we would set this one. This strategy analysis sits here somewhere. It again is linked to each of these in terms of the requirements analysis and design definition comes up next. Then you've got the solution evaluation. So each of these in a way is interconnected in some form.